let's just double check and make sure in terms of administration, we're all good. We're gonna actually do the first 2 hours and from now until 11, and then later we will then continue. You should have gone through the setting of goals, the 2 sessions. The 2 sessions that we've had. If you have never attended any goal setting, you must have actually done that prior to that. Can I have a confirmation that people have attended the setting of the goals module and they've read through the structure and they actually have put their goals and the things that they want to achieve into a visual, like a vision board or a picture on your phone or in your screen? What have you done? I need to just confirm that you have done the activities relating to module 1 and 2. And you can use the chart, please. Guys, please talk to me. Talk to me. Tell me how far you have gone in implementing module 1 and 2. I'll start with you, Bob Alfred. Hello.
Hello. I have done so. I've put something down in terms of also on a long-term process from 5 to 10 years.
Okay.
Where I made clear to see where I am, clearly where I want to be, and how am I going to get there. So I did my homework and I'm looking forward.
Wonderful. Your goals of in 10 years time, do you have a picture of it?
Yes.
Okay. What is your daily routine every day before you start your work?
My daily routine is to check the program of work.
Okay.
In terms of what people have done the previous day, and then what is it that's going to be done on the particular day.
Okay.
Just to get an update what is going on.
Okay, perfect.
Then, yeah.
So you're quite operational. You're looking at what we have achieved last day, the previous day, and what we need to achieve today. I also need you to take a few minutes to just look at your goals and start working out. Before you look at what needs to be done for today, ask yourself, is anything or things that I can do that can move this goalpost that I have, that can help me to move closer to my goalpost? Okay,
yes.
Let me make an example. So what I am saying, you have your routine, you have your daily outcome of what is it that you need to achieve. But what I need you also to consistently do is to say, my goal in 10 years is to have this business maybe generating, let's just say your goal was say 10 million per year. You then saying, what is it that I can do today that in 10 years will help me to achieve that 10 million? Or in 5 years, whatever that is. And that usually, Bob Alfred, is very much aligned to systems, because people, your exit strategy in any business is in 2 ways. Number 1, you get dividends. You get your investment as for your business in terms of dividends. But number 2, you sell your business. Number 3, you franchise your business, which means you duplicate what you have done in one location and you duplicate in another location. That's the only 3 ways you can actually have an exit strategy in your business. So guys, just grab your notes, I understand that not all of you have actually done the setting of the goals, but I do need you to still do that if you have not done it. The team Denise, please make sure that you share the link of the video and you get Monolo to email those link of the videos to you, and you post it here and you also load it on YouTube.
Okay.
And the reason why you constantly want to do that, Baba, to check what are the things that you can do to move, is because you can't operate as though tomorrow is given. You can't operate as though you are guaranteed tomorrow. You have to operate as though, should anything happen, will someone else be able to jump on my shoes and be able to run? And what are the things that I can do to make the transition better, quicker, and earlier? So, and that is what I mean when I say, yes, you are working towards that goalpost, but ask yourself on daily basis, towards that goalpost, what is it that I can do right now that in the long term of that goalpost will help me to be closer to my exit plan, to my sale when I sell that business, or to whatever that is your goalpost. Great. Thank you, Babu Alfred, for the feedback. Sis Paula, hello, how are you?
Thank you so much.
Hello, Ma, how are you?
I'm great. How have you been? How are you doing in building up a system for you to achieve your goals? What are your daily routines? What are your daily habits that you have started?
Usually what I do, I think I'm still working on that, because sometimes we can be so cluttered, but now I'm learning to prioritize what is my my to-do list towards what I need to achieve. I think I've just yesterday, I think it has been like an alignment for me, because the enemy was when you want to achieve a lot within a day when you are not focusing. So and doing a bit and bit of everything. So my dearest, where do I start?
Okay. Who also is feeling like Paula, a little bit of saying, okay, I am now need to learn to take what is important, what is urgent, and what can be parked. Who's also struggling with that? Hello, Gail. Who's struggling with that also? Who's saying, who's struggling with that? Guys, give me a feedback. This is not me pulling up content out of myself. It's more pulling information from your side. Okay, great. Good morning, Gail. Well, Alfred, you're saying that I'm really looking forward on the office automation. That will be key to the next 4 months. Okay, so your priority is to automate how you're actually doing things in your business. Okay, great. Okay. But Alfred, when you look at your automation and your office automation, please remember what we covered on a webinar where we were talking about business administration, and we went through the components of business administration. Please have a look when you are thinking about automation.
Yes. No, definitely I'll do.
Okay, no one is responding. Paula, then I'll please come in and unmute yourself.
I'm here.
I'll use you as an example then, and apologies for sounding as though I will be coming too strong.
It's okay, you are welcome. That's the reason I'm here.
Okay, so the reason why you will feel in other instances cluttered and also feeling there's so much to do, it will be because you still have not decluttered certain things. How do you declutter? You declutter by actually looking at what is working and what is not working. So your first step, when you feel overwhelmed and you feel, you know what, I'm not sure where to start, sit down and list down what is working and what is not working. The stuff that is working, you then have to ask yourself, can I put the stuff that is working to be routinely? Should I set a day or should I set a time that is going to tell me when exactly, so that I can set up my diary or planning my day or planning my week, planning my month to have that as routine. But when you are also checking those things, these things that you think they are going well, ask yourself, the stuff that is going well, how much does it contribute to the bigger picture? Is it the most important thing? Those things that are going well, or is it just things that needs to be done? Is there a way you can delegate? Is there a way you can get an intern that can actually do that? Can you teach someone to do those things that you are doing very well? And in those things that you are doing very well, how much are they contributing to the bigger picture of what you want to achieve? Once you have that clarity and you have figured out whether those things are important or not important, you then look at the stuff that is not going well and you will ask the same question. Why, firstly, this is not going so well? What can I do to improve it? Can I ask someone to help me to make it so that I can actually, I don't make my own mistake, but I ask someone to guide me on, say, the following is not doing well. This is what I think, why this is not going well. Can you help me to direct me? How should I address it? And once you have done that, it's gonna then allow you to declutter things. But you will also ask yourself, these things that I'm not doing well on, how much are they contributing to the bigger picture? Because if they contribute a lot, you really need to put time and effort in building the capacity within your environment or in partnering with someone who's already got a capacity in that area. So one of the things that, I will bring up an example. So I know and understand that I love what I'm doing and I care about what I'm doing, which is teaching and training. However, the teaching and training does not make money as much as the consulting work. So the consulting work now will make more money. Fair enough. So then I need to look at my schedule on my daily routine, on my planning of the work and check, where am I dedicating most of my time? Am I dedicating my time on training? If the answer is yes, then which means I should therefore expect to be generating lesser revenues. However, if I'm saying no, majority of my time I'm spending consulting, that means that then it talks to the revenue streams that I should be expecting. So the next thing I should be asking is that the task that I'm doing within consulting, what is going well there? What is not going so well? And if there are things that are not going well, is there a way I can find someone to assist and help me to fix it or to work on it? If there are things that I'm doing well, how can I actually replicate that? How can I teach my team to actually do that? Because then it means I've mastered that. And can I also look at those tasks and ask myself, does this need to be done daily? Does this need to be done weekly? Does this need to be done monthly? Does this need to be done every 3 months, or does it every 6 months or once a year? Because every task within the business must be clear to you as an owner how often I need to actually execute it. Because if you execute it all the time, and it's stuff that takes a lot of time and effort, you then really need to think about, how can I simplify it so that I can teach it to somebody else? Or how can I actually automate it so that it runs on its own? So, Mom Paul, Are you ready?
Ma'am. Yes, you have really addressed me because now we have been speaking that we need to have multiple streams of businesses to generate income towards the bigger picture. Now the challenge was in the 4 caps that I'm running. What do I do most? So the first session that you just did now you help me to say, this cap, how much is it generating? Do I have to do it personally? Do I have to delegate someone? And then how much is it generating towards my bigger picture in terms of my financial goal? And I just think that you have really addressed that, because when you don't plan like that and wearing 4 caps, you will run the zigzag and really not putting or reflecting on what is working and what is not working, and why is it not working? What can I do? Which help can I ask for? And or who can I train to do this while I'm doing the other? Yeah.
Perfect. So, guys, that applies to everyone. This is it's almost like a principle or a rule that you should use even in your own life, of just stopping everything and ask yourself, okay, I'm feeling overwhelmed. I have too many things on my plate. What works, what's not working, why what is not working is not working, the stuff that is working, can I simplify it? Can I actually get someone else to do it? Or can I do it once and then it's sorted for the rest of the time? Can I look at it in terms of automation? And the stuff that is not working, sometimes you may not be the right person to resolve that. You might need to ask someone to assist you to resolve that. But also ask yourself, the stuff that is working, how much does it contribute to the goals that you are setting, that you have set for yourself? And the stuff that is not working, how much does it contribute to the mainstream? Does it take or does it add? And again, yes, you must build up the multi-stream of income, but try to go very narrow on your stream of income. So what do I mean? At the beginning, go very narrow. So what do I mean? Mampola, you are in a beauty industry, right?
Thank you for asking me that question. I'm in the beauty industry, which is my passion. I have handed it over to my daughter, and she is focused. Number 2, while you were training us at NEF, I was also in the property business. I've got 2 properties next to VUT University and Northwest. I'm accredited by both universities. I'm housing students. And also my passion and my calling is a public speaker and a coach. I'm taking my story, my journey, and inspiring people. But I also love sales. So hence I was saying I'm wearing 4 caps. But with a property, that time when you were training us, when you challenged us that we don't need funding, by then I think I was housing about let me say 20, but I didn't ask any money. Then I reinvested the money back. Now I'm housing about 43 students. I have grown in that. Woo! Then yeah, without really, that day when at Sasol, you really challenged us when we were supposed to go and pitch, and you were saying you actually don't need to loan money. And I wish I can show you some pictures. I'm so proud. I'm not owing anyone anything. I've got beautiful rooms, singers. During this COVID, I also extend it's my I'm grateful. And you contributed towards that, because we had the believability that you need to loan money. So I've never loaned, but I'm housing 43 students now. And then we've been accredited by both universities, especially Northwest. They are so strict when they accredit you. So we are being paid by NSFAS. So I don't want to cry and say during this time I had financial crisis. NSFAS has been paying irrespective of student assistants are there or are not there. But my calling, my passion now, I started my entrepreneurship in 1983, and I'm still attending this workshop, and it still overwhelms me. So I can't say I have arrived. I still love to learn. But now I want to tell my story and what I have learned, just to inspire people as a public speaker and as a coach. So at the other side, the overwhelm is that I'm also attending coachings because I need to be certified. Yeah, that's me. But and I love sales. That is why I posted that. I'm in the health multi-level. I love sales. So me.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mampola, for sharing that. I think that was one of the things in that workshop we had almost 2 years ago, Mampola, that most of us were stuck in looking for factors of production, yet the resources that we currently have are more than enough to able to expand ourselves. But I need you also to sit back and say, currently, these are the possible multi-stream of income that I actually would like to work on. Which one will make me work less? I think you have a huge energy, Mampola, but you need to also remind yourself that you need to reserve your energy in making sure that you rest properly. And as you're doing whatever that you are doing, you feed your spirit, but you also give back. I think that is the core of what you want to achieve. However, ask yourself, which one out of these multi-stream of income you have is requiring less effort? Which one is requiring less effort? And focus on building that one until it actually pays for 100% of the minimum amount that you need per month. So let me go back. So I'm saying to you, find the multi-stream of income that has a minimum effort on your part, i.e., it doesn't need you every day to be waking up and doing something for you to make the money. It doesn't actually require you to actually even take out a huge capital and a whole list of other things. But what I am saying, look at the multi-stream of your income. Take the one that has the low effort, low minimum effort. That one, work on it until it provides you with a full minimum salary that you need to sustain yourself. And then expand to others once you have reached that point.
Thank you.
Because, guys, when you're touching too many things, you're not going to finish. Two, the market is also going to get confused. What the heck is this is about? Your brand will get affected. Does that mean, Mampola, you're not going to do the other things? No, you will do them, but you will do them passively. You will only focus on the one that requires minimum effort, that's going to cover the minimum salary or the minimum amount that you need to live. And that's it. Until you reach that point, you will then add. When you have reached that point, then add another one. And again, when you add that another one, you add it by saying, is it going to take me more effort or is it going to take me less effort? If you are saying you're going to do the coaching and the public speaking stuff, you better make sure that that public speaking and the coaching, you are showing the results. So make sure the stuff that you are building as you move from one business to another, the results are clear, the results are coming out. Because when you are coaching, you must coach from the heart, you must coach from your own experience. And I don't even need to go in more detail on that, Mampola, you know exactly what I mean.
What do you mean I must show result, ma?
The success of anything leave clues. You see the success that you've just shared now. where you said within the past 2 years, I have grown by 100%, because that's what you said, more than 100%. Start building up that track record of that success. Because when you start doing your coaching and your public speaking, that is what you should be selling.
Okay.
Great. Thank you, guys. Hi. I'm unmuting you. Hi, Katlego. I'm muting Mam Paula. You do want to come through? I want to understand, have you set up, you are clear about where you're going, about your goals? Have you worked through on the activities that you need to actually work on daily basis? Okay, it says connecting to audio. I don't, Gail, okay, I will ask Gail then while I can't, Katlego is not, the audio is not working. Gail?
Hi, everybody.
Hey, hello.
What you just asked the other person, I did set my goals, but I haven't actually done the activities to achieve the goals, because I'm somehow still swamped because I have a baby that I need to take care of, but I did set off my goals and I try when I get time to work through it. So time is still an issue on my side, time management. But yes, I did set up my goals. So I just need to implement it and do the activities on a daily basis.
Okay, so the goals are done, Gail. Did you get some pictures of your goals?
No, I didn't. I didn't. I just wrote it down, everything, but I haven't put it like the photos and everything.
Okay, so that will also assist you to remind yourself on how important that is. I also suggest that, how old is your baby?
She's 11 months.
Oh, quite young. Okay. So your business, where is your business right now, Gail?
I actually run from, I do a lot of, I work from home because it's a cleaning service. Right. And then we got cleaners that clean offices. But now at this moment, we're not doing residentials because I haven't worked on getting more clients to do residentials like on a daily basis, but currently we're only having the offices where the cleaners go out on the offices every day and then they do the work, and then my husband will go check on them and all those things. But I do mostly the finance part and the admin work. That's what I actually do a lot. Okay. And the marketing also.
The marketing. Okay, great.
Yes.
So how has the business been since the lockdown?
It has been bad. It hasn't been going well. Because like I said, we're not getting new clients, we're not getting new I did advertise, but then we're not getting any response, and I think people are still also skeptical about letting people in their houses. So that's what I'm also thinking, but that's something that I'm also struggling at the moment also, to get new domestic work, cleaning work.
Okay. So what I would like you to actually, maybe as you are in this process of area where you're feeling a little bit stuck because you're not attracting as much customers, have you thought about moving from just cleaning and then move to sanitization?
I did think about it. So that's one thing that I was still doing some bit of research, that how I go about it. Do I need sort of like a certificate? Do I need, so this, I was doing a bit of research about it, because that's something that I also thought that maybe I should do now, especially with what we're currently experiencing as the country. So, but I'm doing a bit of research about it.
Can I suggest something?
Yes.
Don't do the research on it. Find
Okay.
a company that is small, that is not too big, that is already doing it already.
Okay.
And make an arrangement with that company for you to sell their products and their sanitization related product to your current customer.
Oh, okay.
Guys, sometimes it's not about getting a new customer. It's about taking the same customer and selling more to that customer. Previously,
Okay.
Gail, you were focusing on office, and now you are saying also now gonna include residential.
No, previously we were doing the offices and we were doing also the move outs, like the flats when the student moves out, when people, and also we worked with a estate agent when they, before they could move in. So we were doing move in and move out, and we had also a construction company when they would build the house, and then before the new buyer goes in the house, then we will clean the houses. But along the way, I sort of lost those contracts. I wasn't getting any more clients, and then
Why you lost those contracts, Gail?
um, they just said, like, with the construction ones, they were saying that they were still busy building the houses, and then the houses were not done. And I think the person that I used to deal with on the management side, who appointed us, he moved overseas, and then somebody new came in his place. But I've contacted him and tried to find out what we did wrong, why we're not being, why our services was not being used. But all he could tell me was that he was experiencing, like, they were not finishing the houses, so they were still building houses. So that's what happened. And then with the estate agent also, but we still got the way they move out. But that one also, it works with the season, because when the student moves out, especially at the end of the year, that's when we'll get more work. And then the residential one is when somebody will say, just come help us clean our house, our maid is not here, things like that. But with the pandemic, I think we're not getting those clients contacting us to come assist.
So my suggestion then for you, Gail, is to actually start re-looking at your business model. What works, what is not working. And the stuff that is not working, build up a clear understanding of your customer base and their needs, but also create some sort of a regular interaction with your customers so that you're always in front of your customer's mind in some sort of a way. But guys, we're gonna go through the strategy setting. I just needed to catch up and know that you guys, where you are in terms of your goals. And it feels to me as though, it seems as though you have actually started working on it. The only thing now we need to work on is what are your daily routines? And in those daily routines, are you getting reminded? Do you have enough reminders around yourself to remind you of where you're going? And I also want to just double check and check in, guys, what is keeping you motivated? Babu Alfred, what is keeping you motivated? Mamu Paula, what makes you wake up every day in the morning? Thank you so much, Gail, for sharing.
Thank you.
Yes.
Are you asking?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm asking
What
is keeping you motivated?
what is like this morning? Let me give an example of, I've been looking forward to this morning and to this session. I'm always intentional about what needs to be done. I think the love and passion for what I need to do keeps me motivated. But also, I think the other thing is that I'm not lazy. I'm more of a my daughter this morning was telling me that I'm workaholic kind of. So Okay, the answer is here. I am thirsty to be successful. Yes. What keeps me motivated is that I want to achieve my financial goals, whereby I can say I'm financially free. I don't have to worry about anything. That is what keeps me motivated. And I always desire and work towards that. But now with these tools that we get, they are narrowing us to really achieve that. Instead of just working, being cluttered, now we will be working towards whereby you will rest and harvest your sweat from your sweat. Yeah.
Thank you. Baba Alfred, what keeps you motivated? Okay, I think they can't hear me. Kata is still struggling with the audio. Okay, we will continue. Okay, guys, just keep in mind that motivation is good. Hi, Alfred.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm standing in for him. He's not here now.
No problem. I can see he's busy on the phone somewhere there. No problem. Don't worry. Tell him when he's done to just, I'm going to mute you guys and then to come and he needs to tell us what keeps him motivated, what keeps him going. Great. Guys, I think we can proceed on today. So once you have done that, you also should have your workbook for simplified strategy. Can I confirm that everyone has? Please put the notes on the chart if you do not have, so that Denise can make a note and make sure it gets emailed to you. Who doesn't have? So which means everyone has. Perfect. Oh, Sis Paula, Denise, Sis Paula is saying, please email her the workbook. Mom Paula, you're supposed to be in some sort of a membership site which you can download, because there's a workbook and I think there's about 12 pages of different templates for strategy. So Denise, just make sure that Bonolo has added her on that WhatsApp. On the content for her to access the content. Here I can see this message. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, so guys, we're going to have 3 sessions that we're setting up here. We're going to have today, and which is the first session this morning. Then we're going to have the afternoon, and then we're going to have 2 more sessions the following. I would prefer maybe we'll do it after the following week, so that we can be able to implement the stuff that we're going to be learning. The program is designed and it assumes that your business has been operational at least for more than 12 months, or you have a business experience. Number 2, we also have assumed that the business goals have been set and your business model is actually documented. Can I have a confirmation on your chart, put the chart, if you actually have documented your business model? And I think as far as goals are concerned, we're already there. It also assumes that you actually have a first-time director who has not necessarily been in a formal directorship. You have gone through a preparation at least for 3-4 weeks, which is helping you to build up some sort of a momentum and routine. But you also have done and conducted some sort of a market analysis to enable you to be able to understand what options will work, what option will not work. Can I confirm if you guys have done some sort of a market analysis? Can I confirm, entrepreneurs, if you have done some sort of a marketing analysis? There is nothing that I'm seeing on the chart. No one is talking to me. Gail, she said she hasn't. Okay.
Okay, I have done market analysis in my business.
Great. And what did you pick up when you were doing your market analysis?
What did I pick up?
What do you remember that stood out for you, that you learned, that you began to actually unpack? In that note, also tell us what your business does.
Okay, what my business does is we sell baked treats, we sell cakes, we have the custom-made cakes, we make biscuits, we make scones, everything there. So what we realized is around the area where we live, there's not a lot of people doing that, and that's something that's high on demand.
Okay.
But I'm telling you. Okay, so that's what I picked up there, which means we had like a gap that we can go into the market and then fill and like that gap there.
Okay, so the purpose of market analysis is to actually understand the supply and demand of your products and services, including the alternative. That's what a marketing analysis is about. Denise, would you please provide a link of the webinar that I did with Label on market research? Okay, so we will give you guys the link of how to actually conduct the market research. So what you're considering in a market research, you are checking, based on my products and my services, what is the demand looking like right now? What is the supply? It's almost like you want to understand where is the gap, what is missing, and can you fill up the gap of what is missing? Okay. So I do need you entrepreneurs to read your manual once a month. I will prefer that you consistently adjust every week during the period. You reread the content and the stuff that we actually gonna be talking about here, because at the end of the day, you gotta need to understand that some of the principles and things that we're teaching or we are outlining here actually does require you to constantly be educating yourself and progressing, but it also needs you to apply. There's no point of you going through the training program and actually not applying. There's absolutely no point. You gotta need to actually build yourself up to understand, okay, now I understand, what do I need to do in my business to make it move forward? And that's the main purpose. So the first session we're gonna focus on reviewing or revising your vision and your mission, and also your core values, including the culture of your business. And we will also then look at the end, when we've tackled and discussed the vision and the mission and the core values and the workshop, we will provide you with more than 230 core values that you can select from that will help you to then build up your own core values of your business. Those core values will then help you to build up the culture that you would like to have in your business. We will then also look at your business and say, can you assess what is your core competence? In that core competence, can you actually make sure that that core competence is protected and is continuous, but also that core competence is fully aligned to your product and offering? And on the areas where you feel you need that competence, you can then put through the business or your team, or should I say a personal development plan for yourself and also for your team. So the last part of that section, we will then review or design your business model. And you'll use a business model canvas, and that will be the first session for today for us. And then in the afternoon, we'll then work through identifying the key factors using Pastel, using Porter, frameworks, and SWOT analysis and all that. We'll deal with that in the afternoon. Guys, do you have any questions?
You asked me about what keeps me motivated, and you didn't tell me why you asking. What should I look into?
So the reason why I'm asking what keeps you motivated, what keeps you waking up in the morning, because it is hard. It's very hard to do what we do as entrepreneurs. So when you share what keeps you motivated, what makes you wake up every day, the others also learn from you. So that's the reason why I was asking. Okay. Guys, we are not here just to learn from me only. We're here to learn from each other.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna, one of the things also, guys, that you need to have, as you're setting up your business, you're gonna need to have this. You're gonna build up your director's file. I need, Denise, please also make sure that you make a note that the director's file index is also included on the template on that membership website. So what is a director's file? A director's file is where you're gonna have your corporate strategy that is gonna outline, these are the things that are gonna be your output. This is what is gonna be your output in when we are done with your strategy. But as you build that, you also need to understand, we've already covered these items, your administration. You now need to set up systems in your administration under what? Under your director's file. And you will also have this section, which is business development, which is talking about the sales, marketing, public relations, stakeholder, and customer service. And the last one is gonna be talking about what? Your operations. So this Mam Paula and also Babu Alfred will help you to categorize your work so that you know where are you working on and how you classify your files. There's a question, there's a chart, note. Okay. Okay, so that is Denise. Denise, thank you so much for adding that link for the YouTube. So guys, just make notes of that. It's also on the channel, so you will find it on our YouTube channel. But Denise has provided it to you also as a link in here. So just copy and paste that link so that when you are doing, when you have not done your market analysis, get us some sort of ideas of how to actually do that. And if you need additional support, let me know. We have lots of tools and processes that you can use to follow there. So first thing first, you're gonna need to have this file created by yourself. And you can create 4 folders, but within the 4 folders, have these subfolders. Great. Is everyone ready to be a director? And then once we have done that, you will then start working through that file and pulling information and including the templates that we actually have. I need you entrepreneurs to commit to actually be doing at least 4 hours a week. 4 hours a week for the next 6 weeks. If you commit 4 hours for the next 6 weeks, I promise you, you will have a clear what the strategy is about, but you will also have your 1-page strategy presentation. When you are looking for resources, you'll be very clear what you need to do and how you actually need to do things. Now, once you have set up your file, your index file, your director's index file, you need to take some time. Take some time to look at your business and ask yourself, how has the business performed? Do some sort of an internal analysis. And I think Gail has already provided some insight into that, of saying that, okay, during COVID, this is what has transpired. Prior to that, this is what had actually worked, this is what has not worked. The sad part about right now, we don't know what's going to happen post-COVID. We can only just estimate. So we must therefore be prepared for everything. So we should already be asking ourselves, what are my top sales that I think will actually help me to actually increase my growth and increase my revenue for the next 6 months to 12 months? Do you know what those are? Because if you don't know, then you still need to do some sort of a research. You also need to look at what are my top expenses? What is the most things that drain my business? Can I directly link my expenses to my income so that I can see if I'm actually profitable or not profitable? This is almost like making sure that you are evaluating your performance of your business. And you must really come into terms with that in terms of accepting. It's similar to what we discussed earlier when I said, you're gonna need to look at what is working and what is not working. It's the same thing here. What I'm able to sell most fast, what are the things that are not selling so fast, and how is the actual business performing? And because that analysis is gonna tell you where you should be focusing on. So the team that you were saying earlier, you were saying the team, Kababu Alfred, you were saying that you're selling cakes, biscuits, and you're also selling scones. It seems we are selling muffins. It seems like you're selling quite a bit.
Yes, we are selling quite
a bit. So what you need to do is to ask yourself, let me list all my products that I'm actually selling. Let me ask, which ones am I selling most? What do you sell most in your bakery business?
We sell mostly biscuits.
Okay. So, and do biscuit make most profit?
Okay, they make profit, but not as much as one cake would make. Selling one cake makes a lot more profit than selling, I think, 2-4 buckets of biscuits.
Okay. So you also are selling gourmet kind of cakes where it's a birthday or it's a wedding?
Yes.
Okay. Which one takes more effort? Making a biscuit or making the cake?
Well, they're all equal effort. It's baking, it's always trouble.
Okay, because the aim is that the cookies, if you were to make sure that your systems run properly for the cookies, do you realize you can actually dedicate someone to just focus on the cookies so that you can focus on the cake? Because remember, we all have 24 hours. If the cookies are the stuff that sell the most, it also means we can upsell to the person who buys the cookies to buy the cake, the birthday cake, or the cake for whatever occasion. But you have to keep in mind that the big cake or the cake that you are making, it's an occasion, which means it's not a day-to-day thing. That's
It's
your strategy. Because that's what I actually say, you're gonna need to find a lot of people who are having a birthday or who are having a wedding. And that is practically impossible. So you might not like that the biscuits sell the most, but the biscuits is what's gonna make you, because it's a lot of them and over every day. And whereas the cake is once in a while. Now, both have advantage and a disadvantage, but whichever that your mind, as you're building up your business model, you're then gonna need to ask yourself, how can I make these biscuits the quickest possible way, the fastest possible way, and make a lot of them? To a point that you end up selling as a wholesaler. So you sell to the tuck shops in your neighborhood. They buy bulk from you. The buckets, they are buying that from you so that they can resell. And that is what I mean, entrepreneurs, by saying that by making your performance analysis of where you're making most money and why you're making most money in, assist you to be able to then say, what should be my business model then? What should be my entry point to the customer? What should be my retention with that customer? Guys, you really need to think beyond what you're actually seeing. And you must also think through, your best customer is the person who comes to buy from you every day. That is your customer, not once off. A customer is the person that come and buy from you all the time, not once off. Once off is good. Once off, no problem, is good, but it's not good enough to build a sustainable business. So Gail, you were saying that you had a construction company that was asking you to, maybe you should be asking yourself, can I get a database of all construction companies that do residential? Can I maybe get a company that does maintenance? Because that's a person who's gonna ask for your service every day. While the real estate is good, but it's only as good as the customer base they have. So stay away from irregular customers. Start looking at the customers that are routine and build up relationships and systems to get those routines running. Because in most businesses, the more you sell, the more you make money. Very few business that you will do one sale in a while, and then you are fine. There's very few of those businesses. Is there any question? Can I take questions? Okay. Gail, you understand what I'm saying. So what I am saying, Gail, look at these type of customers that you have. You say real estate agencies, you have a construction company, you have household, you have offices. Who comes all the time? Who always need my type of services every month? Every day. Who will need my services? Every day. Every day. Who will need my services? Who will need my... And also, girls, start thinking beyond just providing services. Start thinking about, can I maybe manufacture my own product? So the products that you are using to clean, start thinking about, shouldn't we maybe branch out also to cleaning service? We're a cleaning company. Why? Because your aim is to get in and own the value chain of what you are getting yourself into. The stuff that you are using should also be the things that you are actually promoting. The stuff that you are promoting, you should have a shareholding of what you're promoting and also using. And the government is really looking, there's lots of programs and things that are available that, and even support and guide, where they are saying, you manufacture, you can start manufacturing. And in other instances, Gail, you don't need necessarily to even manufacture. You could actually own have a brand, have a manufacturer who does it, but when they do the labeling. Let's just talk about this in more detail. At Pick and Pay, when you go to Pick and Pay, you're gonna find they have their no-name product. They also have Kellogg's, maybe, for example. They will also have All Brain, but they will also have their own All Brain. What I'm saying, Gail, with the brand that you have built of the cleaning services, start really thinking about, can't you start getting a person who's already manufactured, the people that you are using their product, and rebrand their product or brand them, ask them, make an arrangement, and then you start, so that you can also, when they're not using, the customers are not using your services, at least they can use your products. And that is also building a very narrow strategy. Hi, Gail, please talk to me. Gail, unmute yourself, sis. Go ahead.
Okay, sorry, my baby now, she's coughing. I'm sorry for that. Yes, it's something that I was looking at it with the lockdown. What we did, me and my husband, we went to the company that we buy most of the cleaning products, and then, but what we did, we bought the items, and then we started selling it to customers here around where we stay, and then we sold it to them, like maybe you did like a combo, or maybe somebody wanted a dishwasher, and that actually went very well. But what we picked up also, as we're busy selling to the customers, we got some people where they will say, where do you buy this? I also want to resell. And then, can you take us there where you bought the stuff? Because then some of them we even delivered, like, but what we did mostly like combos. We made sure that there was a handy, a dishwasher, fabrics, softener. We made 4, and then some of them we delivered like about 20 combos, and we say, okay, fine, this is what we're delivering to you, and then now you must go actually sell it. And then they gave us money what we charge, because obviously we charge also, we included a markup, obviously we calculated so that we can make profit out of it. And they went and resold those combos at a higher price. And then that's when they're like, no, but you need to show us where you're buying those stuff. And then I even said to my husband, I'm thinking,
your customer where your sources are.
Yes.
So I like what you have worked on, but my suggestion is, make sure when you are selling to those people, you that is why rebranding, Gail, is important, because if you are giving them this stuff and it's got the brand of that company, they can go direct to that company.
Yes.
So my suggestion for you is that ask yourself, look at the number of people that have bought from you, and try to see if you can't strike a deal. that will say, you know what, I can sell you the stuff, but I need you to commit to this number of volume. But that number of volume, girl, must be informed by the discussion you're going to have with the manufacturer. The manufacturer of where you are buying the stuff, what is the minimum volume, what's the maximum volume, to give you a heads up, but also build up a relationship to see if you can't get the stuff on credit in other instances so that you can move the stock quite fast. And then also with the manufacturer, start thinking about branding, rebranding their product to be your product, so that when you are distributing to the customers can actually, the sales agent that you have found can actually buy from you direct and not go back to the manufacturer.
Oh, okay. Because that's something, because what we also noticed was that if we bought the already branded one, like the 2 liters, the 750 ml, and we also bought the 20 liters, and then we went and then we actually put it in 2 liters in another container like the other bottles. When you went to deliver, we had that option, and then they will say, we don't want this one without the brand. We want the one that is branded, because this one that you're selling us without the brand, because we bought a 20 liter, because it worked out cheaper when you bought a 20 liter and you put it in 2 liters and then you sold it. And then they were like thinking, when you added water in it, you did this and this and this and this.
Because of the brand. But
yes,
you can sell the 5 liters and the 20 liters to companies, to tuck shops that maybe do frying or bakery shop in your neighborhood, because they will know what is the good stuff or not the good stuff. Again, Gail, go back to the drawing board. What is the easiest way for you? Is it selling to the agent, or is it selling to the people who are gonna buy more? Your aim is to increase the volume so that when you negotiate with your manufacturer, you can have a better negotiation.
Okay.
So,
okay, thank you.
Someone is saying, can I brand my packaging material? Of course, definitely. You can definitely brand it. You can brand, it's very easy, guys, to brand your product. You just need to find a company that's going to do the labeling, and that's it. And you do the labels. They do the labels, you just paste them on the material, on the product.
Okay, thank you. Because I was thinking of doing that, branding the packaging materials for the cakes, for the biscuits and all of it. And then
okay, so please take note that the value of selling a soap and the value of selling a cake is not necessarily the same.
okay,
so
yes.
Be careful about rushing the branding when you have not built a huge customer base, because that branding expenses needs to be absorbed somewhere.
Yes, it's something I'm considering in the long run, not necessarily now, because there is a lot of other stuff that needs to be done, more equipment that we need to buy, and all of that. So once we have all the equipment that is necessary, we have developed a proper business model, and we've implemented all of this, maybe then we can move towards branding our packaging material.
Yes. So I think for now, keep it nice and fancy in relation to the plastic and the ribbon, your color of your ribbon when it's a biscuit. If it's a bucket, you can also put a ribbon, even if it's a basket, to make it nice as a gift or whatever. Remember, cake is already customized for that specific person. So that is why branding won't be a priority. But the moment you are targeting tuck shops and you want to sell your biscuits as a package, then you might need to think about branding, because you want the customer also to come to you, not just to go through to you through the tuck shop. Again, ask yourself, what's my capacity of my bakery? How many buckets can I produce per day? If I can only produce 5 liters, 10 liters of cakes or biscuits, who can buy that from me? And at what price? And what's my profit? Remember, if people are buying the small pack, it's a lot of effort and you need a lot of customers that will buy that small pack. But if you look at yourself as a distribution or as a wholesaler or as a manufacturer, you're then going to have a different mindset. Guys, this also relates to, you have to know in the value chain, where do you belong? Are you a manufacturer? Are you a distributor? Are you a retailer? Are you there's another distributor also right before the custom. So you really need to be very clear, because if you are then not clear, you will also then get really confused as to which way to go. You will also be confused as whose really is my custom. So really look back at your business and say, what is the capacity? What is it that I'm able to do? In this stuff that I'm able to do, this I'm able to do, I'm comfortable with doing. How do I double it up? How do I increase? If I'm increasing, who's the target? And that is important. Okay, entrepreneurs, if there's anyone who have comments, please leave the comments on the chat. I see there are more people joining. Okay, guys, is anyone who has a question? Is anyone who has a comment? Guys, I'm here. I need to know that you are with me. You've just not put me on a mute and forgotten about me.
We have not forgotten but about you. Can I just make a follow-up?
Yes.
In my case, with the accommodation thing, when is January is done with registrations, I am full and it takes a year, and mine is just to maintain. I'm just giving you a picture so that you can see how you can help me align. Then the students are in, I'm fully booked, and mine is just to maintain with the accommodation one, number one. Then number two is, now I need to look at my other cap, which is the GNLD, the health and wellness supplements that I'm saying I'm selling. I'm recruiting people to augment their income. That's my sales part of And then the other one, I'm still working on it as a coach, whereby I still have to submit my POE to be certified. So how can what do I need to do? Because the accommodation is something that I'm in January, I don't want anything, I'm hectic. I'm registering student, they are settled. That is the admin part of it. And I can ask someone to help me with the admin or daily things or maintenance. Now, is there any other thing that I need to put in place? I just want to.
I'm not too sure, Mamu or Paula. What? Okay, so maybe I'm a bit confused as what problem you wanna solve. I'm a little bit off there.
Okay. I've left the advice that you gave the other business owner here of now they can look into rebranding and co-partnering.
Right.
So yes. So on that note, what is it that I can further do based on the scenario that I have given you? Maybe my growth level or my betterment.
Okay, no problem. It's gonna really depend on, you see, with the student, you will clean up, you will make sure the or during December, everything is ready for them in January or latest the beginning of February. So the understanding or the value chain within that is mainly just maintenance. So during the year, there is a maintenance that needs to be done on the rooms so that you keep up the standards. So instead of you, actually outsourcing that to someone, he actually do the maintenance. Maybe you should be buying a maintenance company that maintain the student accommodation within that area. You have a shareholding of that or a partnership arrangement on that. So when I say you must look at your value chain, I mean, look at what is possible based on how, all I am saying, you see, if in your books, Mampola, your expenses, in maintenance expenses is one of the biggest expenses, you should then be considering having a partnership or an ownership of the maintenance so that you increase your profitability. Guys, you must understand that when you generate revenues and out of your revenues, you're paying out expenses. And what you are paying as expensive is big. There's a problem with that because that is eating up on your profits. And how do companies like Bidvest and get to be so massive? They look within the value chain and say, can't we acquire that business and that business? You don't need to have 100% ownership, Ma. You can own 30%, but that also helps you to do what? You're eating up on the profits of that business. But also, Mama Paula, you can then work and go very narrow instead of you going very broad. Today you're on a beauty, the other time you're on the, so you can focus on one area so that when you are presenting on the speaker staff or coaching staff, you coaching people on the foundation, maybe you're coaching on the student accommodation money, how to make money in student accommodation. Go very niche, not broad. Because when you go broad and too broad, the market get confused. South Africa is not big. South Africa is very small. I don't know if that makes sense, guys. Does that make sense?
So if I'm getting you well, you are saying in terms of maintenance, I can look for another company that is already in cleaning and we co-partner kind of?
Not even co-partnering. Not even co-partnering, but consider owning one. Consider owning one.
Okay, I hear you. All right.
Just owning one so that it allows you to be able to say, so look at your top 5 expenses of your business or the student accommodation business. And ask yourself, what are the top 5 expenses there? Shouldn't I be considering actually working with this person? What values do they have? The aim is for you to own a portion of what you spend money on. Okay, guys, we left with another, there's comments there. Okay, Gail is saying no question. Yes, it does make sense. Great. I'm gonna share these questions with you here. So I really need you also to start identifying in your business which areas, according to you, is really holding you back at this point, because it's almost like you're assessing what is working, what is not working. That's going to help you also to see. So maybe guys, just take a few minutes, read those notes on 1 to, I think it's to 18, and then tell me which one applies to you. And in the meanwhile, as you're reading, I will then hold on and just wait for you. And I will wait for your chart on the notes for you to share on which one applies to you. I'm looking at the chart, guys.
To start.
And once you picked up which one is yours, you just make a note on the chart of which one is yours. And as you're reading, then you're adding up. Oh, come on, guys. You're reading so slow. It doesn't, you can have as many as you that apply to you. You could have 3, 4, you could have 7, 8, it doesn't matter. It doesn't also need to follow any order. But as you read, is that applicable to you? Is that applicable to Gail? Yes, it does. Number 1 and number 14, low revenue and also margins, right? And number 14, lack of growth plan. Great, thank you for sharing, Gail. Let's see, who else?
Can I say something?
Yes, go ahead, Susan.
I think number 2 for me and number 5 and number 9, they speaks more to me.
2 and number 5.
5 and 9.
And 9.
Yes.
Nice one, Susan. So number 2, I don't know where to start with planning in my business.
Yes.
Number 5 is lack of accountability. I like that one. Where you're both director and shareholder. and number 14, number 9, no, number 9, right? You said 2, 5, and 9. Susan? And then there's a lot of people that are saying number 14. Great. Number 4. Don't know if I'm choosing the best option. Yes, great. So, okay, that is good. Let's look at number 2. I don't know where to start with the planning. I don't know where to start with the planning. It starts with your goals. Guys, everything starts with the destination. Where do I want to go? So be clear, Susan, about your goals. Where do I want to end up? And once you have done your goals, you then sit back and relax. You've done your goals, and we have a whole program that we ran on goal setting and also even the modules. We went through the processes and systems. At the end of the goal setting, you're gonna need to make sure that your goals, you can physically see them in your mind. And if you can't physically see them, get a old magazine and start cutting pictures and put them together and take a screenshot of it, make them to be a screen save, so that you are reminded of where you want to be, where you want to go. The last time I was running them, I even shared my vision board. Please go through that a webinar that we ran. That was last week. So that is how you start with planning. You now know where you want to go, which in this case, maybe we can say your destination is going to Durban. Then you start saying, okay, I am planning to go, I want to go to Durban. How should I go? Should I take a plane? Should I take a bicycle? Should I walk? Should I actually take a car? Should I take a bus? There are different options for you to go to Durban, to your destination. One of you says, number 5, I don't know, is it number 5 or number 4? Number 4, I don't know which option to take. Now, because you now have this option, I'm taking a plane, train, bus, a taxi, or am I driving, am I walking, am I bicycle? The reason why you don't know out of these 6, 7 options you are taking, it's because you have not analyzed what are you capable of. You have quite a lot of options available to you, but you have not analyzed what is the best for me. What will work best for me based on my skills, my knowledge, my experience, and the resources that I have. So how would you do that? Let's looking at number 4 as an example. So let's say out of this, we have these 7 options, that I'm talking about. The first one, maybe you had on your list is you can walk to Durban. But you then ask yourself, walking to Durban, what does that really mean? It means I must be healthy. It means I must actually have the right shoes. It means I'm going to have to figure out where I'm going to sleep because surely I'm not going to be able to walk in one day. But it also means I will not reach Durban within 3 days or within 4 days. That is why when you are setting up your goals of what you want, you must put the timeline. When do you want to achieve that goal? When do you want to achieve that destination or that goal? So if then you're going to walk, but you want it to be in Durban in 3 days, surely walking out of the option is already out. Then you move on to the next option. The next option maybe, no, I will take a car. But do I have a license or will I be driven? Do I have enough petrol? Do I have toll gates? And that is how you will then begin to choose the right best option for you. You look at each option and analyze it based on what you have and based on the knowledge and the skills and the resources you have. And each of these will start falling off on that list. Maybe you decide, you know what, I'm going to take a plane, which means in 3 hours you'll be in Durban. The quickest and fastest way. 3 hours you'll be in Durban. But again, there is stuff involved with that. You need to make sure the plane is booked. You need to make sure that there's something that's going to take you from where you are to the airport. And when you get to the airport, you must actually make sure you have whatever that they're going to need. So what I am saying to you, then you ask yourself, do I have money? So that's probably going to be the most expensive one because it's the quickest. How much is it going to be? That money in relation to the benefits that I will have when I've reached Durban. True. Okay, it's a quickest and it's, even though it's expensive, but it's going to help me to reach Durban the quickest and the fastest way. Again, guys, some of your processes or things might not be the quickest and the fastest. So when I was running the program on setting your goals and achieve them, I used the example of health. So health for me is not something that you can reach. You can reach that destination now. Yes, there is ways, I can go and have a seizure. But that means there's a possibility maybe 10 years down the line for me to go back to that same weight that I was at, because I have not gone through a process. So just be careful when you choose the quickest and the fastest way of getting your goal, that you did not miss the process and the systems that will actually embed that to be your lifestyle. So, and that is very important, that as you choosing the options, yes, choose the ones that's going to help you to move you faster to achieve your goal, but understand and learn the process in any. It's similar, guys, to someone who has won a lottery. That person gets the 10 million on their hand, and they say within 3 to 5 years, that person doesn't even have a cent in their name. That is because that came too fast and too quick. They have not learned the principles of keeping the money, and they have not learned the process of how this whole thing actually works. And that's the same thing in here. So really, as you're getting through each option, analyze it. Analyze the impact of it. Analyze you getting the stuff quicker than you should. I mean, we have seen even people that have achieved success pretty fast. They are arrogant. They have really not learned what it means. So yeah. Now we have dealt with number 4. We're now going to deal with number 13. Not able to optimize the resources. Oh, I think there was also number 9, lack of focus. Okay, I will cover that just now. Not able to optimize the resources since they are not planned, and sometimes even employees are not clear on what needs to be done and when it needs to be done. That is number 13. Not able to optimize the resources. So I think that we are all guilty of not able to optimize our resources. And I do understand where that comes from. But I'm also saying the reason why sometimes we are unable to optimize our resources, it's also because when we're planning, we're not allocating resources. So we're planning to do 1, 2, 3, but then when we are doing that 1, 2, 3, we then are not dealing with the issues that are related to those issues. We're not restricting ourselves. So maybe we said, you know what, I want to go to Durban. My budget is 100 Rand. Surely 100 Rand is not sufficient. Or surely the time that I've dedicated in achieving that goal is not enough. So when we are not optimizing the resources, it's not just about money, but it's also about the time that we are dedicating on achieving that specific thing. So my suggestion for someone who's saying, I'm not actually looking at optimizing the resources I have, it's also starting to have the gratitude list every day. What you are grateful for. What are the things, so that is always going to be on your picture, in your mind, of what are the things that you've already got. Because if you're focusing on just achieving your goals and not acknowledging what you've already got, you will tend to also ignore the resources and also not optimize the resources that you've already got. So the best way of dealing with that is to list the things that God has provided you, have blessed you with, but also acknowledge and ask yourself, what are the things that I can work on and actually progress on that will help me? How can this resource help me to be closer to achieving my goal? Consistently do not look outside of yourself. Look within what is reachable for you when you are looking on expanding. Now, number 9. Lack of focus and tend to do too many things, but not getting the results you are looking for. You are not getting the results that you are looking for because you are not focused. It's not because it's difficult to get it. You need to build up a focus And the best way of dealing and helping you to focus is to read your goals on daily basis. Napoleon Hill says 3 times a day, in the morning, midday, and in the afternoon. And don't have too many goals. Have 1 or 2. And 1 or 2 which you know will change the way you are and how you actually work and live. And that's the best one. And that is why when you're doing your goals, when you reduce the goals, it also helps you to reduce the things that you are doing. Guys, to achieve goals, it doesn't take a lot. You need to master 1 or 2, 3 things maximum. So, and I made an example of this the last time, saying that when you lack in focus, it's also because your goals is too many of them, and the things that you think needs to be action is too many things that needs to be action. The moment you feel, oh, there is too many things to action, you probably are not doing the right things. So I'm gonna make a similar examples in relation to earning money, right? There are 2 things you can really do when you wanna earn money. 1, you increase the number of customers that buy from you. Number 2, you increase the price. Or you sell more other stuff, something else, to the same customer. So that is one of the best 3 ways you can actually earn or increase your growth or increase your revenues. But you also have to understand and know that to sell more stuff, what will it take? Some of you don't even know what's their conversion rate. How many people do you need to reach before you can be able to sell? And that then throws you off, because you then end up doing the same thing, but not achieving the results that you're looking for. So, and then number 2, you also need to understand, if you're gonna sell volume, who buys the volume? Who buys most quantity or most units? And if you are not clear about your customer profile, then you will also struggle with that. The last one, maybe I need to sell on the same customer, sell more stuff. You then need to know what that customer actually need and want, and start building on that. So the focus is very much focusing on earning the money. So whereas maybe to someone else, the focus will be, no, I just want to spend as little as possible so that I can keep more. Again, even on that, there is a principles that needs to be followed. So the reason why sometimes we end up doing too many things is because we don't understand the principle of achieving that success. And when we were running the module 1, module 2 program, when we were talking about achieving your goals, setting your goals and achieve them, I said in health, in losing weight health, there's only 2 things you have to master. You master 1, the food. You master 2, the exercise. Do the other things like water, other things like vitamins and all that, do they contribute? Yes. But the main contributor to the weight loss, based on what I've researched and studied and looked at, that really guarantees the success, exercise and food. So again, as you're picking up in your area, whichever area it is, when you are struggling with focus, you're doing too many things, ask yourself, do I really understand the principle of achieving this result? Do I know what it really takes to achieve this result? And what does that mean in relation to the things I need to do as my bare minimum? As my bare minimum for me to achieve this goal, to achieve this result. Because that bare minimum has to be the principle, has to be the main contributor towards you achieving a goal. The last one, I think the second last one is the 12, low productivity And since most activities are just responding to other people, you see, the low productivity, because most activities are responding to external factors. So that one, I think you're gonna need to look at how are you generating leads? How are you generating the work? Because if then you're responding to external factors, then the external factors are gonna direct your energy and your time to different things. So start really looking at, can't you have your own structure of activities that you are doing on a daily basis, irrespective of who has sent you an email? And from that, ask yourself, if I get an email that talks about this, how should I respond to it? And then, so that you can start building up your own capacity within your business. This one about lack of growth plan, I think we're all suffering from that. The economy, the country has just like shrunk. There is no economic activity. And where there is, it needs a lot of effort. I think we need to go back to our drawing board and review our business models. The business model is the one that's going to help you to unlock the growth plan post-COVID, or irrespective of which level this will ever be. So let's go on more detail and cover. We're left with a few more minutes. Guys, are there any questions or comments of what we've covered so far? Questions and comments?
Most Precious, can I comment on what when I raised a concern previously?
Go ahead.
In terms of the accommodation, what has been taking a lot of money was when I was growing more rooms. A lot of 90% of my money was on that growth. And in other words, I'm spending more money on construction.
But Mama Paula, that is acceptable because that's a capital expenditure. That is not your operational expenses.
Okay.
That's a once-off.
Okay, ma.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's slightly different. That's a once-off. You will capitalize that on your balance sheet.
Okay.
Whereas the ones that I'm talking about are the ones that you are, with your operational expenses, you are incurring them every month.
Okay.
Okay. So guys, what is the strategy? We said today you are attending a strategy session. So what is a strategy? What do you understand by a strategy? Why does any director or owner of a business need to actually be clear what is their strategy? A strategy, guys, is a high-level plan that has a specific business objectives that are outlined that the business want to pursue. The strategy provides some sort of a direction for your vision and your mission, for your destination. So using that example that we said, I want to go to Durban, that's the goal. The strategy now is to say, okay, I have looked at different options. I am now choosing that I'm gonna drive to Durban. That is now the option I've selected. In that selection of that specific, that is the how. That is actually now the strategy. But it's very at a higher level. It's not detailed. Because if then I have selected that I'm gonna drive to Durban, there is activities that I need to do to make sure that I am ready to take that car and drive to Durban. For example, I need to make sure that my car and my license is actually has not expired. I need to make sure that the petrol the car has been serviced also, I have petrol, I also have to make sure I have e-tolls, I also have to make sure that I plan when will I take a few minutes break and refuel and end. So all those things are partner, I've chosen the option, this is my strategy, I am driving, but now from that driving, I'm now got a specific detailed plan of what is it that I need to do to achieve that result, to achieve that objective. And sometimes achieving that objectives may not necessarily at some point lead direct to the end result. It might just mean you need to look at your goal and say, can I set some milestone? Yes, I want to go to Durban, but maybe my first milestone will be, I need to leave by this time for me to make it by this time. Maybe Harrismith is my milestone. That is how I'm gonna measure. Because guys, because entrepreneurship is such a long process and life in general, it's a long process. We have to make sure that we put milestones that are gonna help us to see how are we progressing towards the goal, but also to measure our effectiveness in executing that work. Because let's make an example, you decided you will go to Durban and you want to go to Durban within a day, you want to be in Durban in maybe 12 hours. And because you're not measuring towards that 12 hours, you might find yourself there after a day or 2 days. So you have to keep in mind and keep milestones so that it allows you to be able to measure the progress towards that. So basically, a strategic plan is about a working plan on how we're gonna achieve our success, how we're gonna optimize the financial performance within the business model. And that is why it's very important to be very clear what is our business model for this strategy. Do you think by understanding the strategy, it was going to help you to build up a business that is sustainable? According to me, definitely, because you're going to be in a position to be able to assess different options, assess them, and then make the right decision for yourself. But also, you're going to be able to know when to cut your ties, when the strategy is not working, because that's another thing. Sometimes as entrepreneurs, we keep on doing the same thing, expecting what? Different results. So the strategy and the timeline of the strategy allows you to be able to say, I need to dump this. Maybe I don't need to drive to Durban. I can actually just get a lift and you will still reach, you know, so how would you measure the success of a strategy? How do you measure if the business strategy is working? You see a business growth. How do we measure business growth? We measure business growth by customer demand increasing, the sales and revenue increasing, repeat business volume increase, the business volume also in terms of the quantity increase, customer retention, average sales value increase, requests for products received, including also the quality in terms of the size. How do we measure when we actually have achieved the growth in terms of strong competition and positioning? We measure that market share increase, market position changes, competitive win rate, the growth rate versus competitors, yours will be higher than your competitors. The margins will be higher versus the competition. And also you will actually have a leading brand that has a bigger awareness. How would you also measure when you actually are building up a strong financial performance, gross profits increase, margins also, operating profit, earnings before interest and tax, or including dividends after tax, and also return on assets? That is how you measure if your business is actually has improved and as a small business, sometimes market share is difficult to count because we are too small. You are not like Tiger Brand or Unilever. Therefore, you might actually you might not be able to have the measure for market share, but your market position will actually change from the size of the number of employees you employ, the number of offering that you're doing, plus also even just on how the brand is perceived. So you will need to really understand on the goals you have set for yourself. How will I measure? How will I measure those goals? And when I do measure, how will I monitor that success? And as I said earlier, you monitor that success on intervals that are regular over a period of time. You don't just measure the end result. So what is the framework for strategy? Guys, the framework for strategy is vision, mission, and within that, you will work out also the SWOT analysis, the opportunities that are there, the mission, and the objectives. And you can have a structure like this where you have different options, where you say, this is my go-to marketing strategy, my service strategy, the finance, and you also will have employees, which is personal, technology, and the change, depending really of what are your priorities. So you can have a structure like that and have a plan like that. But at the end of the day, it all has to be driven by your vision. It also has to be driven about where you are at that time and which things you want to change and which things that you think you need to leave. We're left with 8 more minutes. I'm just going to finish up on the vision and the mission. And from there, we then will leave the things for the activity 1 that we're going to have and build it up on our next session in the afternoon at 4. So let's go into more detail on what is a vision. So a vision is what you see your business in 10, 20, 50 years. What do you see for yourself? What do you see for your business? Where do you see that business actually growing to be? Mission is about what are the things that we're going to do as we are building up on day to day towards that vision. What as a core value is what make us, it's what make us who we are, but it's also about core values is what we stand for, is what we will die for. So that's the difference. The vision is very descriptive, and it's usually should be actually having a clear image in your mind of what that business should be able to do. It's an aspiration, is what we want is to actually achieve. Whereas a mission is more around what are the things that we're gonna do to achieve the vision. Okay. Can I request you guys do activity number 1, which is say, first examine your current vision statement and start to create a mental picture of where your business is going in 3, 5 years, and that can even be 10, as I said earlier, and answer the following question on your worksheet 1. So the worksheet 1 asks you, why do you exist? What will you be known for, or what will we be known for? And who's our customer, and what is our service and solution, and that we provide to our customer, or what problems are we solving for our customer? And if you can write that, and then guys, you will then share. Let me double check. I had included. Let me go back, the activity 2. The worksheet 1. It just asks you those questions. And guys, you can download the worksheets on the website that you will be given for all the content. So this is worksheet 1. I'm gonna open worksheet 1. There we go. Please answer that on your notes. You don't need to answer for both here. Let's just work with 3 years for now. Why do you exist? What will you be known for? Who is our customer? What service and solution do we provide to them? Or what problems do we solve for them? Okay, just take time, go through that and answer it. And when you are done with that, do worksheet number 2, which is in your mission. Worksheet number 2, you're basically gonna be crafting now the mission, where you say, 2, what you do best, what you provide, the key customer, who's that customer, buy through outcome, because that is how you're gonna craft your mission. And guys, the core values, ask yourself these 5 questions and make a note. And then after that, go through the 230 core values that you have, the core values that you have, to see which values really match. The aim is to come up with only 5 core values. Don't try to end up with more than that. Use this time from now and also look at the culture and the productivity, and then you are done. Then we will catch up with each other at 4 o'clock. So end your material and your content up to the end where we are now, before we start with identifying and assessing your core competence. Use this time from now until to actually do the exercises and the work, so that when we come back, we then progress and do core competencies. Can I take comments and questions? And those who do not have the material, please indicate it to Denise with your email, so that she can make sure that you have the material. So Mampola, measuring your success on the strategy really depends on what is the actual goal. The actual goal itself determines what's the key performance indicator. What is it that you're gonna measure as the success? So my goal is to lose weight. So my key performance indicator, 1 is the scale, that I must be weighing a certain kilogram at a specific time. My other KPI is actually key performance indicator, is my waist. I must be having, so the goal tells you what the key performance indicator is. Okay, where do you get the 230 core value samples? You will get them from your membership site. On your membership site, it's all in there, including all these worksheets that we have mentioned in here. Can I confirm that everyone does have their membership entry point, password and stuff? One.
No, I don't have it. That's what Jablil, I don't have it.
Oh, okay. But Jablile, I will, okay. But Jablile, I've just, Gail is saying she's got hers, great. But Jablile, maybe Paula needs help with the membership site. No problem. The logins will have been automatically been sent. Okay, but Jablile, my suggestion will be send me or Denise your cell number so that she can then help you, including Sis Paula. Your direct cell numbers to Denise. You can just go to the chat and then you go to Denise's name direct and then type the email at your phone number so that she can call you and then help you through that to assess it. Okay. Baba Alfred has got everything great. Thank you. Okay. Anyone who doesn't have, just do the same. Send a direct message to Denise with your cell number. And then we will take it through that. So guys, there's a lot of things we need to go through. What I'm saying, the next 2-3 hours, don't leave the training. Actually, go through what we've just covered. Go through that material from page 1 up to page 14 and start doing the activities from activity 1 and activity 2, and also complete. And if you do have time, read also the additional reading and articles. And we will see each other in the afternoon at 4, where we're gonna take off on now. You have done your vision, you have done your mission, you've done your core values, you've selected the top 5 that talks to you. And what does that mean in terms of your culture? And then we can move on looking at your core competence, on how that can actually help you to achieve and build up the growth plan that talks to what you need in your business. Guys, thank you so much for your time. We will see each other in the afternoon.
Precious, before you leave, can I ask, it's going to be a quick one. I'm just looking at, I'm glad I attended this. I'm just looking at diversifying the business. I've heard you talking to the lady that is in property about diversifying the business. Now, I'm looking at it because I'm in a training space. I'm just looking at the ways and means of how to diversify. I did pick up some and thought of a few, like when doing trainings, I need to kind of like not outsource the catering. And, but yeah, I'm looking at the administration and management involved. Is it not going to be too much into the business? And another one, the customer, maximizing the customer. You said the customer are those people. Customers are those people that you have repeated sales with. Now, the problem with me in my training company is getting those customers, because I just have those ones-off customers. I just don't have repeat customers at all times. Yes, I understand. After attending this, I need to strategize around that. But yeah, can you assist?
No problem. So, okay. But Jablile, right?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So there is definitely more than 50 ways in your space you can expand your business without, you see, when you go to catering, that's no longer in your trade. That is outside of your trade.
Yes.
So there's quite a lot of things you can do. One, if you're in a training space, providing training, who are you providing training to?
Is that a question?
Yes.
Right now, it's 1 or 2 customers that I have. Like recently, I just had the training that was given to me by one of the municipalities to conduct training on gender-based violence. So now it was just that once-off customer that wanted somebody to do this, and I was there.
Okay, so the way you have built your business then is very highly externally focused in how you're responding to it. You gotta need to have build up your business in a way that the processes and your systems are the ones that help you to catch up the lead, but it's built internally, not just external. So if you are in training and development, you can actually, there is other way you can earn money. The guys that have been trained, you could actually partner with someone who does coaching. So it's not just a training, because that is still the same target client. You could also ask yourself, in this content that you are building, can't I package it and in a way that it is actually now a book? Because then you can publish the books. You can also look at this training that I'm running right now. Maybe you're running, what other training have you run before?
Yes.
What other training have you run before other than the one that you just mentioned now?
Leadership.
Okay, a person who does leadership, in your training in leadership, find people that do corporate governance, partner with them so that you can then contribute on leadership. Ask them, go and partner with them and say, guys, you providing corporate governance. Can we partner? I will do leadership. And that person maybe does other areas within corporate governance. But also think about, can't you sell other people to your same customers? So you've already got some sort of a customer base that you're saying the training is once off. Can't you look at other trainers and say, trainers, you know, my customers, they have asked for these services, but I think these services also, this training can also be of use in that target market. And you then get a referral fee for that, for referring other clients. So the point here is that the reason why we are so close-minded in our business is because we are not looking at how can I help somebody else. We are mainly looking at how can I help myself. Expand yourself by starting to ask, how can I help more people? And with a minimum effort, with the resources that I've already got. And how can I help that person? Indirectly, that person end up helping me too. There is a whole list. I think I even have a book that says 50 ways that trainers can actually make money.
I need to get that one.
You see, it's not about getting those ideas. It's about you starting to look at the network you have, at the people you have worked with, and seeing how can you help those people achieve their goals so that you can achieve your goal. I think as entrepreneurs, in most cases, we are always there looking at our inner self. We don't look at how do we help others for us to help ourselves.
Okay. And, thank you so much.
And you build it. You build it up. You then start collaborating even with other trainers, other coaches, other publishers. I mean, you run a training program on leadership. The textbooks that you are using, you shouldn't use the textbooks that you're gonna buy or content that you're gonna buy where you're not getting anything. So maybe you're using, I don't know, who are the leaders in leadership?
Yes,
who's your coach? Who's your mentor?
It's Portia.
Portia who?
Siska. She's Portia Siska.
Okay, so Portia, by you promoting her leadership content, what does she pay you?
Nothing.
That's the point. Why would you sell her content and when you don't get anything? So you should then be saying, Portia, I promote your content. This is what I do. What can we work out to be partners?
Okay.
Does Portia has books that she has produced?
Yes.
And can you, with the content, can't you sell then hair products? Because you already.
I haven't looked at it that way. Really, I haven't.
And but you know that maybe she sells your book at the cost or at a lower markup than a normal retail price. You then sell the books at a retail price.
I've just heard you talking about to the sister that you talked. She was doing detergents or something like that, and you talked about branding and rebranding.
Yes, but copyright is not the same as manufacturing.
No, I just had this mentality of saying it means it's better off when we are in production rather than me in a training space. That's how I view it.
No. That doesn't mean that. That doesn't mean that.
Yeah. No, I get it. Let me do my homework.
I'm glad you're understanding the principle. It's about looking at what you have and say, how can I make what I have go a long way? How can I make sure that the relationships I have, the testimonials I have, all these things that I've built up, the relationships I've built up, how can those people refer me work? How can I refer work to them so that they see me as a value and I see them as a value in my business?
Yo, thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome, guys. Guys, we'll see each other at 4 o'clock. Please be on time. Come with questions. Go and implement. Work on the content. Those who are struggling, please, you guys, join the WhatsApp. Are you all on the WhatsApp group?
Yes.
Great. So SMS Denise direct if you are struggling to get your content. Okay. And good luck. Work.
Thank you. We'll be working.
You're welcome. Thank you. Bye.